Hello, this is Mike of Need Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Alright, the story so far. I had a difficult launch. Something went really wrong, and in the end I had to redo not only redo the launch, but I had to I actually had to use hyperedit to put myself in the orbit that I should have been because the game thought I was landed. The problem with that was something to do with the fairing not deploying completely. There was a segment of fairing that stuck onto the side of my ship, and somehow that meant that it counted as landed. I'm not quite sure what happened. So when I used hyperedit, it did the right thing, which is it got me to the orbit that I was in, only it said, now you're in orbit. The problem is that bit of fairing then suddenly declared itself to be a separate and independent object, and thus destroyed this engine. There should be an engine there, which causes a bunch of problems. Specifically, this engine, which would be the balancing engine. Oh, I just thought of something. I could put the thrust limiter on that, or would that? Yes. The problem is, if I just let that burn, if I just like a normal engine, it would completely unbalance the rocket. But of course, the fact that it's not broken could also unbalance the rocket. So when I did my first launch, I actually flipped out and lost a whole bunch of delta V. And when I did my second launch, I just got myself into a really ridiculously inclined orbit. But I'm still getting a Lunar encounter. So I've done the burn to get me the Lunar encounter. There was a 2-minute burn, which is why I didn't do it last time. So I did that while you weren't watching, because that's just sitting here watching me going burn for 2 minutes would be dull. So now this is my Lunar encounter. I'm going to be going like there. I don't want to be going there. I want to be going much closer in. So what I'm going to do is going to add a maneuver about halfway, and let's actually set the moon as a target, and we'll focus the view. And what I'll do is I'll play with precise node and see what I can do with precise node. Oh, don't do that. Go away. Now, what I actually want to do is I want to get a maneuver with the Platinum Puffin, because I've got 2 scientists on the Puffin. And so the purpose of this mission is to fly by the Mun, land on Minmus, plant flags on Minmus. Ooh, that's going to be pretty good, actually. So land on Minmus, plant flags on Minmus. So I want to get as close to an equatorial as I can. And then, so let's try and get all this through without interrupting myself. Fly by Minmus. In this, I'm actually going to fly by the Mun. I'm actually going to orbit the Mun, but it doesn't matter. Flyby is actually all I need, but I'm going to orbit. Go to Minmus, land on Minmus, plant flags on Minmus. So everyone on board plants a flag on Minmus. Get back on, and then go outside Kerbin's sphere of influence for a very brief moment of time, and then get back to Kerbin. If I do that, everybody on board will be a 3-star Kerbal, which is good for any number of things. So that is a thing I would like to happen. I say that's going to be good for all sorts of useful things. I think I'll be able to do another closer correction burn. Yeah, so because of that, I have got 2 scientists on board the Platinum Puffin, which is my science station, which is churning out science based off data that I got from various lunar experiments. They will churn out more science if they are 3-star scientists than the level of scientists they are at the minute, and I can't remember how much that is. Um, I think it's. I think they're only 1-star scientists. They may even be no-star scientists. I cannot remember. So I want them to be 3-star scientists. So I want to pick them up as I go, and get them on board, and then I'm not going to dock with the Platinum Puffin. I'm just going to get close enough that they can EVA across, because the Platinum Puffin does not have any docking ports, and in fact the aluminium Rhinoceros also in fact does not have. Technically, it's got a docking port. It's got 2 docking ports there, but that's to let the lander come and go. Basically, it's so that I can attach and detach. Under this fairing here is the heat shield for coming back to Kerbin. And so it's a big heavy thing that I don't feel like dragging all the way down into Minmus's gravity well and all the way back up again. It's probably not something I should really care about, given Minmus's gravity is so low. It shouldn't be a problem. Oh, for heaven's sake, what did that just do? Everything looks alright. Oh, I hate it when anyway, that's what's going on. So I've got a fair amount of delta V. I'm just going to hope it's enough to do everything that I want. And if it all goes horribly wrong, I may end up either landed or orbiting around Minmus. And I'll either have to send a rescue mission, or I will finally get around to setting up the Minmus mining that I need to do, and send up some fuel. And I have to say, in a complete, total, utterly, it's all gone horribly, horribly wrong emergency. I do have quite a lot of delta V hanging around in the asteroid intercept, which I could, in theory, get to Minmus, I think. So, if it all comes down to it, that's what I'll do. Okay, so we're just going to warp slightly. So I don't have to spend too much time waiting for the maneuver to turn up. Right, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Try and keep myself on target. The bit I'm very good at, which is keeping track of 17 different things at once. So I'll go back to here. Set the moon. Yeah, right. Focus for you. And just ease those last few meters per second in. Hello. Alrighty then. That's not going to be bad at all. I want to do some more maneuvering. I'll probably be able to do some very, very tiny maneuvers closer to the Puffin. Be nice if it told me ascending nodes and descending nodes, but it might not do that until I'm actually in the moon's sphere of influence. So that's the next alarm I'm going to set. We'll give it a 30-second margin. So okay, and we're following the moon here because that's where I've set my target. That's where I've set the focus to. I could have set it back to the ship. A quick look at my fuel situation. Ooh, I've used up almost all of my monopropellant. That is bad. That means docking's going to be a pain in the buttocks. Okay, so wind count 29. What did I do with them? Was that alarm did I add 30 minutes? I added 30 minutes. So 30 seconds. That's not what I wanted at all. All right. So I just have to sit here and wait for it to do that final few seconds. It is often recommended that you do not time warp over sphere of influence changes because it could all go horribly wrong. So let's not do that then. One of the things I'd love to be able to have it, you know, that's a thing I'd like to be able to have a countdown saying how long before the encounter occurs. So you may see the orbital kind of things just completely vanish and then come back again and then be very different, all sorts of weird things happen. But no, it's all fine. All right, la la la. Alright, where's me ascending node? Okay, so if I put a... There we go, add maneuver. And can I put that on the... Ooh, there we go. I think I'll go back to having the moon as my focus. There we go. Gonna make things a little easier. I'm not actually seeing what my inclination relative to rendezvous. Maybe that's what I want. Bring up that. Let's get rid of orbital for a second. We'll always bring it back. Relative inclination 11 degrees. So if I... Oop, that was going the wrong way. So I see. It's not doing post. I'm not getting it after the burn. All right, I'm going to go with that. That looks pretty good. Again, it's always that issue of how much delta V am I going to be using? Because then I have to use some to do the rendezvous itself. So there's that. we'll have to equalize there. Circularize, I mean. So there's that. Right, so let's put that in our way, or much less, due to the magic of time warp. Right, so let's go back to focusing on the craft. Quite a big angle I had to make there. You can see the puffin is not, in fact, quite equatorial to the mun. Right, so let's get rid of the rendezvous one. Put alt back in. And fast forward a little bit until I'm close enough that I don't get impatient. My biggest problem, getting distracted by things and becoming impatient. Those are my two big problems. 3, 2, 1, go. 11-second burn. That's not too bad at all. Gradually ease our way in. I might put the rendezvous back on relative inclination. 0.2 degrees, that's pretty good. Come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I believe in you. So my relative inclination is getting much, much smaller down there. This is all doing really what I want. It's nice. Nice to occasionally get what you want. But now things are such that the maneuver node is just wonking all over the place, which is difficult. You know, I think I'm just going to leave it there. And so we are going to circularize. Do it the old-fashioned way for once. Basically, I want it so that it's more or less parallel. So let's go back to having the moon as our focus. So I want the distance between those two orbits to be more or less the same all the way through. How long have I got? 8 minutes, it's fine. For rendezvous purposes. But I am, of course, chugging away, eating up my delta V as I do this. Having said that, you know, it's not that much to get from the Mun to Minmus, and Minmus, the landing should be fine, even with one of my rockets gone. It should still be okay. So there you go. So next episode is going to be circularizing and the docking. which might take, well, it's not quite docking, it's the rendezvous. I'm not wanting to actually dock the thing because I in fact can't, but I'll be wanting to do station keeping, get as close as I can to the puffin, such that the scientists inside can EVA over to the rhinoceros. So that's going to be next time. So thanks very much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this videos. Come visit Neil Enough Dice at neilenougghdice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, reach for those stars.